Obama amnesty. Amnesty, Obama amnesty.
What kind of president needs a no card to answer a basic and predictable question?
Compute this woman, you may remember, she's the one who endorsed fringe conspiracy theories and repeatedly indicated support for executing prominent Democratic politicians. Now she's dialing 911 because she got made fun of. If she's gonna report me to the police, if that's how she wants to play it, I'll report you right back. And I won't go to the police, I'll go to the Justice League.
The confrontation between Jimmy Kimmel and Marjorie Taylor Greene seemed inevitable. She never backs down from a headline and is bold and uncensored. He's witty, sardonic, and loves situations like this. However, Greene went beyond simply responding on Twitter, and what began as a normal late-night roast turned into a political conflagration. She attempted to arrest Kimmel. Yes, you read correctly. The whole thing started with a joke. Greene tweeted something provocative about her political enemies, which is typical DC fare, but with a dash of conspiracy during Kimmel's speech. As usual, Kimmel transformed it into a hilarious gem. He smiled and made a joke about the now famous Oscars slap, "Where's Will Smith when you need him?" The crowd chuckled. Social media chuckled. Greene, though? Not at all. Even seasoned critics were taken aback when the Georgia congresswoman shared a screenshot of the section on social media within hours, writing, "This is a threat of violence against me."
On our show Tuesday night, MTG, Clan Mom as we call her, earlier in the day, called 3 of her fellow Republicans pro-pedophile for supporting Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson's nomination. Well, that's nice. She thinks I have fans. I guess that's good. But now listen, not only don't I condone death or any kind of threats against anyone, especially as I get dozens of them a week myself. Note to Jimmy Kimmel, not only would Marjorie Taylor Greene's husband make quick work of you, but Rep. MTG herself would make quick work of you. Kimmel would not last too long if he were interested in engaging in unprovoked, terrible violence against this congresswoman.
I've made touch with Capitol Police and reported the incident. Kimmel was tagged by her. The network was labeled by her. And the story took off in only a few minutes. Conservatives supported her, denouncing the joke as violent rhetoric from Hollywood, dangerous, and inciting. It was covered by cable news. Influencers on the far right jumped on it, accusing unhinged late-night hosts of inciting attacks on public servants. Additionally, Greene's most devoted fans began tweeting about patriots being silenced by Hollywood elitists. Kimmel, though, he didn't say sorry. He returned fire. He launched his concert with a bang the following evening. Smirking at the camera, he added, "Well, well, well. It appears that I have been added to the list of Marjorie Taylor Greene's foes. I'm not sure whether to call an exorcist or accept the flattery." The crowd burst out. He then on, displaying a printed copy of her tweet, "She claims I threatened her with violence. I am suddenly the public's worst enemy because of a joke I made about Will Smith. We have officially entered the upside down, people." The brutal part followed. Kimmel attacked all of Greene's previous remarks, including her endorsement of QAnon ideas and her assertions on Jewish space lasers. He presented earlier videos of her yelling conspiracy theories into a bullhorn, pursuing lawmakers in the Capitol and pestering survivors of school shootings. He would always pause and ask, "But I'm the threat?"
She tweets. After she saw it, she tweeted, "ABC contacts my employer. This threat of violence against me by Jimmy Kimmel has been filed with the Capitol Police." She called the police. Wearing a mask while Senator Cruz replied to this, that was not written to him, "Bizarre. 535 members of Congress can attend the State of the Union without wearing masks. Still not good enough for Hollywood."
First, new evidence tonight that we, you, the American people, all of us, we were all lied to.
Frankly, we did win this election.
We were lied to by Joe Biden.
He was constructing a case, not only making fun of her. In this instance, it was Greene who was disseminating harmful rhetoric, not him. Kimmel claimed that in order to reinstate Trump, she had demanded the termination of the Constitution. She has spread ludicrous conspiracies that cause harm to others. But now that I made a joke, she wants to be the victim? Hurry up! With each line, the audience roared. For Kimmel, however, This was more than just humor. It was a concept. He presented Greene's acts as a component of a larger effort by radical politicians to stifle criticism by characterizing it as violent. He stated, "It's not about being offended. The goal is to silence others. It has to do with power. Furthermore, I'm not engaging in that game." There was a social media breakdown. MTG's Kimmel became popular. Comedians, celebrities, and even a few politicians added their voices. Some backed Kimmel by pointing to the history of political comedy and First Amendment rights. Others supported Greene, arguing that threats, whether actual or imagined, ought to be treated seriously, particularly given the unstable political environment of today. However, the majority viewed it as a spark from the culture war masquerading as a police complaint. Behind the scenes, Kimmel's team learned that Greene's complaint had indeed been forwarded to Capitol Police. However, law enforcement officials swiftly played down the gravity of the situation, saying that no further action would probably be done and that there was no credible danger. However, that didn't stop Greene from going all out. She accused the media of hypocrisy, said Kimmel's joke was inciting violence against women, and even suggested that he should be investigated for his role in political intimidation in subsequent interviews. Naturally, Kimmel answered with comedy, which is the only way he knows how. During his upcoming performance, he declared, "Ladies and gentlemen, I am officially a threat to national security. I had no idea that making jokes would get me placed on the terror watch list. Al-Qaeda, beware. I'm stealing your airwaves." He then introduced a brand new section titled Marjorie's Weekly Meltdown, in which he provided sardonic commentary while playing snippets of Greene's greatest outbursts from the previous week. However, he also made a more somber statement. He said, "I joke around a lot." To be clear, though, what she is doing is risky. Not to me, I'm all right, but to democracy, to talk, to the notion that we can voice our disapproval of our leaders without facing criminal charges. Late-night comedy is for that. Satire is just that. Experts in law also provided their opinions. The majority concurred that Kimmel's joke was perfectly within the parameters of free speech. Greene's action, according to one, reeked of political theater, intended more for publicity than for real law enforcement action. However, the narrative had already gained momentum. Mainstream media argued whether the outcry was genuine or staged, while far-right media presented it as an instance of liberal Hollywood finally being held accountable. Greene kept stoking the fires while the stories raged, accusing Kimmel of hiding behind jokes to mask hate, sending additional tweets, and doing interviews. For his part, Kimmel remained unconcerned, as well as unfiltered. He remarked, "I've been called worse, usually by those with fewer followers on Twitter." Eventually, the anxiety made its way into the congressional hallways. Greene's complaint was publicly ridiculed by some Democrats who joked that half this place would be in jail for their speeches if bad late-night jokes are now illegal. Others took advantage of the occasion to draw attention to the GOP's hypocrisy, pointing out that Greene had vigorously pursued legal action over a joke while downplaying threats against her political rivals. One thing became evident as the dust settled. Jimmy Kimmel wasn't the main focus of this, maybe even a single joke. It was about satire, the weaponization of outrage, and the broader struggle for free speech. The bear had been prodded by Kimmel. The bear attempted to dial 911, and the world watched in real time as the circus came to life. Ultimately, nobody was taken into custody. There were no lawsuits, and the next week, Jimmy Kimmel returned to the stage with his trademark smile. "Excellent news," he declared. "I remain here, still unrestricted, and continuing to joke, even though Marjorie Taylor Greene is someplace with a stress ball and a police report in her hands." The crowd applauded, the cameras started rolling, and the battle between political fanaticism and late-night comedy continued.